Dear students, welcome to an English language class. This class is for Form 2. We are using the textbook, which is for Form 2, Past 2. The theme is Health and Environment. We are doing Unit 9. The topic for this unit is Take Care. Before we start, let's look at the contents. We have the learning standards, introduction, reading, grammar, vocabulary, cultural awareness, integrated skills, and also writing. And do remember that for each unit, there are 2 videos. Dear students, let's look at the learning standards. Here we have main skills. Speaking 2.1.2, ask for and respond appropriately to simple suggestions. Reading 3.1.1, understand the main points in simple longer text on a range of familiar topics. Reading 3.1.2, understand specific details and information in simple longer text on a range of familiar topics. Listening 1.1.2, understand independently specific information and details in simple longer text on a range of familiar topics. And we have writing 4.1.2, make and respond to simple requests and suggestions. Now let's look at the complementary skills. We have speaking 2.1.1, ask about and explain key information from simple text. Speaking 2.1.4, express opinions about simple spoken or written advice given to themselves or others. Speaking 2.1.2, ask for and respond appropriately to simple suggestions. Reading 3.1.1, understand the main points in simple longer text on a range of familiar topics. And reading 3.1.2, understand specific details and information in simple longer text on a range of familiar topics. Dear students, now let's begin our lesson. First, read the web page. Listen and repeat the words in blue. The second question, which words in blue are shown in the pictures? And the last question is, read the definitions and write words in blue from the web page. So here there are 4 definitions. The time you spend going out with friends, someone who doesn't eat meat, the food you eat every day, how you look, and unkind behavior.
Unit 9. Vocabulary and Speaking. Personal Issues. Exercise 1.
Health. Exercise. Social life. Stress. Diet. Vegetarian. Bullying. Depression. Relationship. Arguments. Appearance.
Yes, students, now let's look at the answer. So here you have to listen and repeat the word in blue. So did you manage to listen and repeat the word in blue? Second question, which words in blue are shown in the picture? So possible answers are health, exercise, social life, diet, vegetarian, relationship, and also appearance. The last question is, you have to read the definitions and write words in blue from the web page. So number 1, the time you spend going out with friends. So the answer is social life. Someone who doesn't eat meat. So the answer is vegetarian. The food you eat every day. The answer is diet. How you look. The answer is appearance. And unkind behavior. The answer is bullying. Dear students, what kind of problems do teenagers have? So here maybe you can say you have problems like bullying, peer pressure, poor self-esteem, internet and online addiction, or eating disorders. Which do you think are the most important? so you can discuss this with your friends. Now express yourself. Think about these questions. Use the ideas in the box to help you. Here you have eat more fruit, start a new sport or hobby, talk to your parents or talk to your friends or talk to your teachers. Go for a walk, listen to music. So let's look at the question. Do you have a healthy diet? You can say, no, I don't. I should eat more fruit. Do you take 1 hour to exercise a day? You can say, no, I don't. I should start a new sport as a hobby. Are you happy with your social life? You can say, no, I'm not. I should talk to my parents, friends, or teachers about my problems. The last question, do you worry about schoolwork? You can say, yes, I do. I better go for a walk or listen to music to reduce my worry. Now you can work in pairs, ask and answer the questions from exercise 4. Offer advice. For example, do you have a healthy diet? No, I don't. Why don't you eat more fruit? That's a good idea. So here you can ask, do you have a healthy diet? Then you answer, no, I don't. Why don't you eat more vegetables and nuts? And then you can answer, that's a good idea. Dear students, let's continue the lesson with reading. For reading, look at the picture. How do you think the boy feels? Why is he feeling this way? So you can answer, he feels sad and depressed. Why is he feeling like this? So the answer should be, he has a problem with bullying. So this is a possible answer. Then, read and listen. Which pieces of advice are for victims of bullying? Which piece of advice isn't for someone who is being bullied?
Unit 9. Reading. An information leaflet. Exercise 2. Cyberbullying and how to deal with it. Someone is sending you nasty messages or posting rude comments about you on the internet. Should you ignore them or do something about it? Do you need advice about what to do? Read these 5 tips.
1. Don't reply. Bullies love it when they get a reaction, so don't let them know they're causing you stress.
2. Block the horrible messages. The best thing to do is to avoid all electronic communication so the bully can't get through to you. If you really can't live without using your phone or social networking sites, use filters to block the unkind messages. If someone bullies you in a chat room, don't get into an argument with them. You should report the messages to the chat room moderator.
3. Talk to someone. You mustn't try to deal with the problem on your own. Ask for help from your parents, a teacher, or another adult you can trust. Some victims of cyberbullying feel the problem is their fault and they delay getting help. You don't have to put up with the bullying, and the sooner the bully knows this, the better.
4. Save the evidence. If you have been the victim of online bullying, then you've probably got written proof of it. You can save the messages, print them out and show them to someone who'll take action to stop it. It might be your teacher or even the police.
5. Help the victims of cyberbullying. Don't encourage cyberbullies, as this will make the problem worse. You shouldn't be afraid to report the bullies if they continue sending hurtful messages to someone you know.
Dear students, Which pieces of advice are for victims of bullying? So the answer is pieces of advice for victims of bullying. They are number 1, number 2, 3 and 4. Which piece of advice isn't for someone who is being bullied? The answer is pieces of advice not for someone who is being bullied is number 5. Dear students, read the advice leaflet again. Answer the questions. Number 1, what is cyberbullying? The answer is sending nasty messages or posting rude comments about someone on the internet. Number 2, give 2 ways of stopping a bully communicating with you. So the answer is don't reply and also block the horrible messages. Number 3, what is the best way to deal with bullying in the chat room? So the answer is don't get into an argument with the bully. Report the messages to the chat room moderator. And next, some people don't ask for help with this problem immediately. Why not? The answer is because they feel the problem is their fault. If you receive messages from a cyberbully, who could you show them to? So the answer is your teacher or even the police. Now let's look at the web quest. Choose a social networking site. Then you make notes about the history of the site and where is it popular. Then work in pair. You can talk about your networking sites. Share your notes with the class. Dear students, what are the advantages and disadvantages of online social networking sites? Write 2 more for each heading in your notebook. So we have here advantages and disadvantages. The first answer is given for advantage. You can communicate easily with your friends. And for disadvantage, you have people you don't know find out information about you. So let's look at some of the advantages. You can do networking without border. You can get instant news and also information. And you can also exchange ideas and do collaboration. And the last one, you can keep in touch with your friends on the social media sites. The disadvantages, you have addiction, mental illness, fraud and scams, misleading information, cyberbullying, hacking, and also privacy issue, which is related to number 4. People you don't know can find out information about you. Okay, after you have finished, does the internet improve life for teenagers or make it worse? And how? Try to answer these questions. Okay, you can do so by going to the different websites so that you can check your facts or find more information. Dear students, let's continue with grammar. For grammar, today you're learning should or shouldn't. So here we have 4 types of sentences. We have affirmative or the positive, negative questions and short answers. For affirmative or the positive sentence, for example, you should tell someone about the problem. The negative is you shouldn't forward nasty messages. Now for a question, should you reply? And then we have the short answers. Yes, you should, or no, you shouldn't. We use should or shouldn't to give advice or to make recommendation. Study the table. Which form of the main verb always follows should? So the answer is, it is the infinitive without to. So here, for example, you have tell, forward, reply. So these are the infinitives without to. For the second exercise, complete the sentences with should or shouldn't. You spend so long on the internet. So the answer is you shouldn't spend so long on the internet. Number 2, Rosie shouted at her little sister. So answer is Rosie shouldn't shout at her little sister. Number 3, I do Zumba. It sounds fun. I should do Zumba. It sounds fun. Number 4, we be friendly to the new girl at school. We should be friendly to the new girl at school. Next, for question 3, write the questions using should to ask for advice. I get a new phone. So the question is, should I get a new phone? Number 2, we order a pizza. So the answer or the center is, or the question is, should we order a pizza? Number 2, they tell someone about the problem. So the center is, should they tell someone about the problem? Number 3, Vicky go to the cinema with Matt. So should Vicky go to the cinema with Matt? Number 4, you paint your bedroom black. So the question is, should you paint your bedroom black? Now the next grammar item, must and mustn't. So the affirmative sentence or the positive is, they must stop their behavior. The negative sentence, you mustn't deal with the problem alone. Question, must I tell my friends? And the short answer, yes you must, no you mustn't. We use must or mustn't to express obligation or prohibition. Dear students, study the table and look at the sign and write sentences with must or mustn't. For example, number 1, you mustn't enter before 11 a.m. So let's look at Roxy's bedroom. Number 2, you can write you must knock before you open the door. Number 3, you must take off your shoes. Number 4, you mustn't make the bed. And number 5, you mustn't move anything. Now study the sentences. Which sentence is an obligation? Which one is a piece of advice? He should eat less fast food. They must wear a school uniform. So, he should eat less fast food is a piece of advice. The second sentence, they must wear a school uniform. This is an obligation. Dear students, now write sentences which mean the same as the 5 rules about social networking sites. Use should, shouldn't, must or mustn't. For example, number 1, you mustn't post photos of people without their permission. Let's look at the rules. Social networking sites, 5 rules. Number 1, it's wrong to post photos of people without their permission. Number 2, it isn't a good idea to give your personal information to people you don't know. Number 3, it's better to write polite comments on other people's profiles. Number 4, it isn't a good idea to believe everything people write about themselves. And number 5, it's very important to remember that online friends aren't the same as real friends. So let's look at the sentences that you can write using should, shouldn't, must or mustn't. So for number 2, you shouldn't give your personal information to people you don't know. Number 3, you should write polite comments on other people's profiles. Number 4, you shouldn't believe everything people write about themselves. And number 5, you must remember that online friends aren't the same as real friends. Dear students, now let's look at the next item. This is a tense review. Here we have present, past and future tenses. So copy the table in your notebook. Complete the negative examples in the table. So here we have 3 columns where you have the affirmative, negative, and also time expressions. Let's look at the affirmative for present simple. Crocodiles attack people. So the negative is crocodiles don't attack people. Next, for present continuous, they are traveling around Australia. So the negative, they aren't traveling around Australia. For past simple, Lucy left on Tuesday. So the negative is Lucy didn't leave on Tuesday. For past continuous, Chris was watching a program about snakes. So let's look at the negative sentence. Chris wasn't watching a program about snakes. Next, present perfect. I've seen photos of the Australian outback. So the negative sentence is I haven't seen photos of the Australian outback. Now for will. You need or you will need to drink a lot of water. So the negative sentence is you won't need to drink a lot of water. And the last one, be going to. We are going to fly to Sydney. So the negative sentence is we aren't going to fly to Sydney. Dear students, now add the time expressions in the box to the table in your notebook. We have next week, at the moment, last weekend, sometimes and never. So for simple, present simple, the time expressions you have never, usually, often, or you can also add another one which is sometimes. Present continuous, now, at the moment. For present simple or past simple, you have yesterday, 2 months ago, and last weekend. For past continuous, you have while. For present perfect, you have never or just. Will, the time expressions, they are later, tomorrow, or soon. Be going to, you have tomorrow and also next week. Now choose the correct words. My Trip to Australia by Scott Winter. Day 5. I had or I've had a scary experience yesterday. So the answer is I had a scary experience yesterday. While I watched or was watching. So answer is was watching TV in my room. I saw or have seen. So I saw a tarantula on the wall. Tarantulas B or R. So are very big poisonous spiders which are living or live in hot places. So answer is live. You shouldn't to touch or touch. So the answer is touch them because they must or can bite. So the answer is can bite. Luckily, this tarantula didn't bite or wasn't biting me. So the answer is didn't bite me. We stay or are staying in Alice Springs at the moment. So answer is are staying. Tomorrow we are going to climbing or climb Uluru. So answer is climb a big rock in the desert. Maybe we'll see or are seeing some kangaroos. So the answer is maybe we'll see some kangaroos. Next, complete the sentences so that they are true for you. Use verbs in the correct tense or form. So here you can write your own answers. I every day. So you can write, I play badminton every day. I'm at the moment. So I am studying at the moment. I last week. So you can write, I went to my cousin's house last week. I was at 5 o'clock this morning. So I was sleeping at 5 o'clock this morning. I've never. So you can say, I've never gambled in my life. Number 6, I'm going to. You can write, I'm going to sing on my birthday. Maybe I'll. So you can write, maybe I'll go to the cinema later. Dear students, now let's do grammar in context. Personal, social, health, and economic education. So PSHE. Read the quiz and choose the correct words. In PSHE, we learn or are learning about first aid at the moment. So the answer is we are learning about first aid at the moment when an accident happens or is happening. So answer is when an accident happens, you must to act or acting. So you must act quickly and calmly. What you should do, should do you? Okay, in this situation. So the answer is, should you do? Your little brother burnt or was burning or has burnt himself on the cooker. So answer is, has burnt. Number 2, a woman is lying on the ground. So the answer is, a woman is lying on the ground and aren't moving. So the answer is, isn't moving. Your nose hasn't stopped bleeding 5 minutes ago, since 5 minutes, or for 5 minutes. So the answer is, for 5 minutes. You have banged on your head. You have banged your head and you think you going to or go to. So answer is, you are going to collapse.
Unit 9. Grammar in Context. Personal, Social, Health and Economic Education. PSHE. Exercise 7.
In PSHE, we are learning about first aid at the moment. When an accident happens, you must act quickly and calmly. What should you do in these situations? Question 1. Your little brother has burned himself on the cooker. The correct answer is B. You should put cold water on the burn. Question 2. A woman is lying on the ground and isn't moving. The correct answer is A. You shouldn't try to move someone in this situation. Call an ambulance. Question 3. Your nose hasn't stopped bleeding for 5 minutes. The correct answer is A. You should lean forward and hold your nose tightly. Question 4. You've banged your head and you think you're going to collapse. The correct answer is B. You should sit down and put your head between your knees.
Dear students, now do the quiz. Choose the correct picture for each situation 1 to 4. Then listen and check your answers. Okay, let's look at the answer. Number 1 is B, number 2 is A, number 3 is A, and the last one, number 4, is B. Dear students, thank you for watching this video. Do remember to subscribe to my channel. It is called Educator OmniTube. I'm Madam Gan. See you in part 2 of this unit. Bye!